The Beatles' 1967 album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band changed music forever. The psychedelic masterpiece, which captured the zeitgeist of the so-called Summer of Love, was the brainchild of Paul McCartney, who came up with the idea of a song by a fictional Edwardian military band. Having retired from touring in 1966, the Beatles wanted to focus on experimenting in the studio and advancing their sound. They also wanted to reinvent themselves, tired with the clean-cut and fresh-faced image they had during the first half of the 1960s. The band's sound had evolved over the previous two studio albums. 1965's Rubber Soul is widely viewed as starting the process, before the 1966 album Revolver saw the Beatles really experiment and embrace new techniques. Paul took the lead on the Sgt. Pepper album, having developed its concept. John Lennon was never a fan of the finished product, writing in 1978 about wanting to spend less time with music and more time with his family. He said, "The lesson for me is clear. I've already lost one family to produce what? Sgt. Pepper? I am blessed with a second chance." Far Out magazine also reports that John once said, "I actively dislike bits," which didn't come out right. There are bits in Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds I don't like. Some of the sound in Mr. Kite isn't right. I like A Day in the Life, but it's still not half as nice as I thought it was when we were doing it. And there was one song on the album that John particularly hated. It was one he wrote. John's inspiration for the track Good Morning, Good Morning was a Corn Flakes advert, and it follows a man's day from start to finish. About his work on the song, John said, "It's a throwaway, a piece of garbage, I always thought. I always had the TV on very low in the background when I was writing, and it came over, and then I wrote the song." Despite John's dislike of Sgt. Pepper, it was adored by fans and critics alike. It spent 27 weeks on top of the UK charts and 15 weeks at the top of the US's Billboard album charts. The Times' William Mann described it as a pop music masterclass, and Gramophone magazine's Peter Clayton said it was, "like nearly everything the Beatles do, bizarre, wonderful, perverse, beautiful, exciting, provocative, exasperating, compassionate, and mocking." In an interview with Mojo, Paul said about Sgt. Pepper, "I think it's the most influential Beatles album. Perhaps, as you said, in inverted commas, it's the most important, but not necessarily the best. Revolver had some special moments on it. What's called the White Album had some very important moments on it, and Abbey Road. There are other albums as good in different ways, but Pepper is the most noticeable Beatles album because it was so different and such a change from what was going on at the time."